Jesse, it's Joey Travolta.
Hey Joey, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, man. You want to jump right into it?
Yeah. Uh,
Excellent.
where are you located?
I'm in Houston, Texas. So I'm,
Okay, cool.
yeah. So I read that you made directing your main priority in 1994. I was curious as to what provoked that transition.
Oh God, what provoked it? Well, I what had happened was I was producing films for myself to star in, and a couple of the people that backed me, because in producing you're involved with every aspect of it, and then when you star in it, you're there on the set all the time. And the backer of it said, I'll put money up, but I want you to direct. And I said, well, I'm not a director. I said, I produce, I act. And she said, but you know everything that goes into filmmaking. You know the acting side, you know the camera side, you know all that stuff. I want to hire you because whenever there's been a problem on any of our shoots, you were the one, that diffused everything and made it work and made sure we came in on budget. And I think good producers will make good directors. And so once I did it, that's the ultimate creative thing, is to be involved with a film from the beginning as the producer, and then to the director all the way through post production. And I learned all production kind of on the fly. I didn't go to school for filmmaking. I went to school for special ed years ago.
And is there any particular way you would like maybe describe your style, especially considering that you didn't go to school for it? Are you more hands-on because of which?
I think so. I think my style is more making feel. I liken it to Captain Steubing on the Love Boat, and I have his hair now too. Is making a creative atmosphere where everybody feels that they're a part of the process. I love the process of making a film. I love that a group of, you know, 40 to 50 to 60 people get together with a common goal to make this movie. And if everybody buys in, no matter what department you're in, whether it's craft service, whether you're a grip, whether you're an electrician, whether you're a driver, whatever, you want them to make sure that they feel like they're a part of it and they become vested in it. And yeah, so that's what I bring to the table, making hence the name of my company, Inclusion Films. I make sure everybody feels they're a part of it.
Can you tell us a little bit about Carol of the Bells and how you got involved in this particular project?
Well, my company, Inclusion Films, we train adults with developmental disabilities in filmmaking. And I've been doing this now since 2007. And since 2006, I've been doing filmmaking camps for kids with autism. And when I started this, again, going back to the process, I was doing like 2 films a year. And I had this concept of, and I was getting folks out of major film schools that didn't know their way around the set. They had knowledge, but they didn't have the practical knowledge. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool if I could create a program where when I do a film, I have a group of individuals that I can train, that that I can use on the set, and they get that practical experience. Not like a PA working in one position; they go into many positions. So we've been doing inclusion films in California. There's 6 different locations that train adults with developmental disabilities, and we were doing a film camp in Bentonville at the Bentonville Film Festival.
Yeah.
We had gotten involved with that's where Carol of the Bells premiered in Arkansas. and I was there because we were mainly making short films, and I ran into Gail Williamson, who is an agent for folks with disabilities, and I said, hey, we have the equipment, we have pros. I want to make a film. I need something simple to do, preferably with someone with a disability as the lead character, and I want to make it between all our workshops. So what we did is, she said, I do have a script, and it was Carol the Bells, and when I read the script, I was crying like a baby. It was just beautiful. It was really a beautiful story. It fit with the mission that we were doing. So I got my partners that I work with around the state, said, send me a pro and send me 2 students that are ready to work. And then we'll shoot it in Bakersfield, and I'll use a lot of our students that are ready to work and my pros that are on staff. So between all the programs, we were able to staff it, and we shot it in Bakersfield, but it came to me through looking for something that would be simple to do.
And can you talk a little bit about the film and why it brought that emotion out of you when you were reading the script?
Well, it was just I mean the story is about a young man who was in search of his birth mother, who was R.J. Mitty from Breaking Bad, and he finally finds her, and when he finds her, he finds out that she has a developmental disability, and that spoke to me as a parent, as a filmmaker, as just a human being, that these things happen sometimes, and to be able to put that on screen and have a group of folks that are neurodiverse that we've trained to work on something that gives a profile of the full inclusion profile of everyday life. I just thought that was really cool, and it just the story just spoke to me. It was just the characters are rich. It's very simple, and everybody did a really good job. I was really happy with it, but even the story about how it was made, was just really cool, with all these guys getting an opportunity to work, to get paid, and at the end of the day say, we did this together, and we're creating something of value.
Yeah, I was curious, is there going to be like, I'm sure that there's behind the scenes things shot. Is there going to be like...
we did there's a, if you want, I can send you, there's a 22-minute documentary making of that we made.
Oh, awesome.
It aired on Cox all over the country in the month of October. But I can get you a link to that if you'd like.
Excellent. Yes, I would love that.
Is this your cell?
Yes, this is my cell.
Okay, so when I get to my office, I'll send you a link to that so you can see it.
Perfect. Thank you. Obviously, this is a pretty serious subject matter, and this is very personal for you. I'm curious, though, considering you have the accessibility to inclusion films, would you guys maybe take on like a comedy or something that's...
Absolutely. Yeah, what I wanted to prove with this movie, that what happens when someone's given an opportunity. We gave our folks that we trained an opportunity, and now I'm showing that, hey, with because it was predominantly folks that are neurodiverse, that we made something of value, and they were very, very much a big part of it. I just wanted the first one to be a story, that reflected, our community and everyday life and what people go through. We'd be open to do many things. I mean, our short films are very diverse in the content.
Yeah, I saw that. I watched a few of them, and I watched some like behind the scenes of like how they come together, and it was very interesting, and I definitely can appreciate the work that goes into that. Um, Kind of keeping that in mind,
Yeah.
how did RJ Mitty like handle being a part of that type of set, like because I know that probably was a little bit different jumping into this type of project.
Yeah, well, because he really doesn't have a disability in the film.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, we referenced that he had somewhat of an accident when he was younger, but it's not. We're not playing the disability angle with him, even though one of the scenes in the movie he's with Jerry Jewell, and they're probably the two most famous people with cerebral palsy. You know, Jerry Jewell from oh God, from Deadwood and from the TV show.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it was kind of, she wanted to do the film, and I said, great. I said, well, I said, I have this part. It's a person that's in the audience that's watching, a big fan of the bell choir. She said, I'll do it, but I want to be a nun. I said, okay, you can be a nun. And she named her sister Gloria, which is her sister that recently passed away. So it was a really nice moment to see the two of them working together. And I don't think there's ever been a nun with a disability in a film. So
No, I can't think of one. This film, obviously has the backdrop of Christmas time,
yeah,
and I know that it was was it released digitally in October, or like how?
no, we're releasing digitally in on March 3rd.
Okay, so that's something that kind of interested me, like, because why choose to release it in March versus like releasing it, next year?
Well, we did a small theatrical in December. We were like in 5 theaters around the country. But this was the distribution company because it is a Christmas theme, but the story. I mean, it's a Christmas movie, but it's not a Christmas movie. It's a slice of movie,
Yeah.
like a slice of, like not unlike oh God, and I don't want to compare it to because this is one of the greatest Christmas movies ever made, which is It's a Wonderful Life.
Sure.
If you look at that movie as a whole, most of it does not take place at Christmas.
Yeah.
It's about his story and about what a great human being he was. And then, Christmas becomes the focal point of it. Not to compare it to that, but it's a slice of life film too.
Yeah.
It's not that typical Hallmark Lifetime Christmas movie. It has a little bit of Christmas flavor to it, but it's really a slice of life.
And a lot of that is true with every holiday type film. They get released throughout the year. I was just curious if there was like a particular reason to come out in March.
Well, yeah, I mean we want to set up for TV in December.
Okay.
So they want to do they wanted to do this. I mean, this was high octanes. That's when they wanted to release. They thought it would be a good time. So
no, it makes sense, and that also kind of leads me to my next question. Like, what has it been like working with High Octane kind of throughout this process? Have they been helpful, or like how has that been working for you?
Well, we're really just starting because the theatrical we did on our own.
Okay.
Which was interesting. Because we went into several theaters in California. We were also in Florida in a place where we have a presence. But we wanted to there was a couple of strategic plans for that, especially in Lodi, California, where the school system sent busloads of kids in the morning to see the show, which I thought was kind of cool. It's a whole new way of marketing. So we did our own small theatrical. And, and then we were in the San Diego Film Festival. We won best audience choice for best feature at the San Diego Film Festival. And
Awesome.
it was in Brownsville Film Festival as well, down by you guys.
So what's next for Inclusion Films and the Heel Film Camp? Like, what's the next step for you guys?
So, I'm sorry, the what?
What's the next step for your film camp and Inclusion Films? Like, where do you guys go from here?
Oh, well, I'm looking at other projects to do right now. I mean, so the disabilities community, 20% of the population has a disability.
Yes.
And 20% of the population have parents and brothers and sisters and siblings. And it's a big market that's not catered to. And what we would really like to do is start a label, that's for everybody, but really showing what people with disabilities can do.
Awesome. I think that's excellent. I have a couple questions outside of Carol of the Bells. So is there anything else you want to say about Carol of the Bells before we move on?
No, I just want everybody to take a look at it, and I'd love to get feedback on it, because we've been, the screenings that we've had, they've been like 6 tissue screenings with, not a dry eye in the theater.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that, and I definitely, urge my listeners and my readers to check it out this coming March. You produced and starred in To the Limit, which is one of my all-time favorites. I was curious, do you have any fun stories from that particular production?
Oh my God! From To the Limit was one of your favorite films?
Oh God, yeah, man! I love stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy making that movie. It was crazy. I'm just trying to think back. Oh my God, that's been so long ago. To the Limit. Oh my! And what was the other one? Did you say?
Just To the Limit, and then I know you were in Three Ninjas Kick Back, and you had a smaller role in that. But I was curious, was your scenes filmed in California, or were your scenes filmed in Japan?
With Three Ninjas Kick Back, I just did somebody a favor.
Yeah.
Doing that. I wasn't in that very much. I mean. But I think, if I remember, To the Limit was a sequel to Da Vinci's War.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we got Anna Nicole to do the movie. I mean, but you like To the Limit, huh?
Yeah.
It did really well.
I just like weird stuff like that, man. Like, something about that movie is just so over the top, ex-CIA seeking revenge. Like, it's just weird.
I know. Well, Da Vinci's War did well, and the backers, they said, well, let's, it's worth doing a sequel to it. Let's come up with something. And then once Anna Nicole Smith came aboard, then it took a life of its own. So, but it was crazy. I think we shot that in Vegas too.
Do you see yourself returning to those types of movies, like the popcorn, buxom blonde, tons of guns type world, or are you content like working on your projects, the way that they are now?
I did a couple of other family films that I really like Mel and oh God, what was the other one? Enemies of Laughter.
Yep.
Which played all the film festival circuits. I like doing movies like that, but I like action. I like action. I would do another action. I actually have a couple of scripts that that have action as a part of it that I would entertain doing. But so much time goes into finding employment for folks with disabilities, and that takes up a lot of my time. But the nice thing about making the film, I was able to get back to filmmaking and serve the same purpose. So, once I'm done with the camps in the summer, I'm going to start looking to do something.
Excellent. Well, Joey, I appreciate your time. Here at CineDump, we let the doers know how they're doing, and you're doing just fine, sir. Check out
Okay,
Joey
thank you.
Travolta's Carol of the Bells, premieres on DVD, digital this March from High Octane Pictures, March 3rd. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.